Forerunner music artist Julie Meyer is visiting us for the first time from Kansas City. Julie, you love music, you love songwriting, and I love how it all began with a very brazen gift from your mother without Dad's permission.
At the time, yes. I was in second grade and I loved music. I always sang, and I came home from school one day, and to my absolute delight, there was a brand new upright piano in my living room. And Mom said, I have wanted you to take piano lessons. I know that you love music. And it was my delight, but my mother didn't tell my dad.
And that's a big ticket.
That was a big deal back then. And so when my dad walked in, he had his emotions were of a little bit different excitement level. But she at that time was a waitress. At the time I lived in a small town, Bellevue, Kansas, and my mom said, I'm going to pay for it with all my tips. Oh. And that's what she did. So, and I was just talking with my dad about this just a couple days ago, and he said, I'm so glad she did that. I'm so glad she bought that keyboard, that piano for you.
And ironically, that music, your time at the piano, would become your refuge because your mom's life spiraled into really full-blown alcoholism.
Yes. Yeah, she was a alcoholic, and I mean, very, very bad, just seizures. And so that, even as a little girl, before I knew the Lord, I always believed in the Lord, but anytime I hurt, I just went to the piano. It became my safety. It became my love. It became a place of healing. And I always used to play hymns. I would play Sweet Hour of Prayer. I would play I Surrender All, because I had a hymnal, but I took piano lessons from second grade clear through college. But it was always the place that I went to when it hurt. And I didn't understand that. As a second grader, you don't understand that kind of pain.
You and I similarly grew up in the church with no idea that we could have a personal relationship with Jesus.
No.
But a couple of twins targeted you.
A couple of twins. I grew up in church.
How redundant is that? A couple of twins. One set of twins.
Well,
let's be clear.
And I have identical twins, and I didn't even catch that. Lynette and Jeanette Roth, when I was a junior in high school, and we all took piano lessons from the same teacher. And we did piano contests. That was my life, just, music. And they saw me wear a cross necklace to school. And to me, it was just pretty because it was shiny. But they targeted me. They followed me everywhere. And I was like, go away.
You thought they were weird.
It's just a joke. I thought they were goofy. And yeah, we actually all went to a musical. It was a competition. And I said, listen, if I win today, I will go to your Bible study, because I knew there was no way I was going to, because it was a state contest, and they were like, okay. And then I'm sure they were praying, let her win, let her win. But I won. I won this contest. I won the whole contest of the state. And I still remember thinking, God must want me at Bible study, because I didn't play that good. I mean, I was okay. And, I believed in him, but I just, that was the bookmark moment in my life where I gave him everything. And when I was 17 years old, and they became best friends. It was like suddenly it was me, Julie Hoopy, that was my maiden name, and the Roth twins. We were just best friends.
I love this story, and just the reality that with this new life, the struggle over your mom didn't end. Mm-mm. And really, you battled for years to forgive her.
Mm-hmm. It was a constant battle. And at first, I just hated her because it was easier. And I remember when I gave my life to the Lord, because I was in I never backslid. I was in it. It was a new life. I was in it. I loved him, but I hated her. And I thought that was okay because of how she treated us. And I remember being at a youth retreat, and they were talking about honoring your father and your mother. And I still remember I held my hand up and I said, well, my mom is a drunk and I hate her, and it's okay because she's always drunk. And it totally, like, kind of, the Bible study kind of stopped, and they just began to target me, but minister to me in forgiveness and honoring her, that God put her in my life. And a way that I could honor her is praying for her. But it was a long journey. And all along the way, I would meet people that, their testimony was, I gave my life to the Lord. He set me free. I've never, desired it since. And it wasn't, even she passed away in 2003. And that whole time, from being a second grader till 2003, which was years and years, was this constant battle of, my emotions of I hate her. And then I will forgive her. And even when the House of Prayer started in 1999, and I never quit praying because I understood there's human will. There's that will. But even when I would go to lead worship, I'd be a worship leader, and I'd have to go check on her, and I would hear things a daughter should not have to hear, and I'd get in my car, and I'd be wrestling because I realized the wrestle is not wrong. The wrestle can make you stronger if you land in the right place. And I knew that I needed to forgive. And the whole way I'd be going, I hate her. And I'd go, no, I forgive her. But no, I forgive her. I choose to forgive her. And I would always end that way. But it was a daily wrestle.
Especially when you're worship leading.
When you're a worship leading,
you can't get up there with a whole lot of mess in your heart.
You cannot. You cannot be a lovesick worshiper and have resentment, bitterness, and offense in your heart. They don't go together. But at the same time, what I realized is that God is so for us, and He wants to help us so much that wrestle, it's not bad. It's actually good.
4 decades.
For decades.
What did God do in answer to your prayers?
When in 2002, at the very end of it, her body just shut down. And whenever she would see me before, she'd see me and she'd go, I don't want to talk about God. And I'd go, okay, that's fine, that's fine. But I went in and I saw her laying in that hospital bed, and she was orange. And I looked at her because she gave her life to liquor. But I was aware that I forgave her. And I just simply said, Mother, can I pray for you? And she said yes. And right there in the hospital room, we prayed, just the prayer that I believe in you. Forgive me for all my sin. You come into my life and make me the kind of person you want me to be. And right there, I'm not really a feeler, but I remember that night in the hospital room, and I remember actually feeling this wave of emotion, like a 100-foot wave, but it was His emotion towards her. And it was as if He waited her whole life for that one yes, because she's got 1 billion plus 1 billion years to say yes to Him now. Yeah. And He was there in an instant. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is how much you love her.
And just think, she was presented before His glorious presence, Jude says, without fault. Yes. And with great joy.
With great joy.
Seemingly a wasted life, seemingly.
Seemingly.
And yet that faith decision changed her whole eternity.
It changed everything. Wow. For her and for us.
Oh God, do it 1 billion more times.
It's the wrestle's worth it. The wrestle is worth it. The wrestle isn't bad, just wrestle.
Julie, we have just a minute. Would you please come back, because I want to talk about prayer. Look at this woman's eyes on this a CD. Can we? Oh, well, let's look at the family first, in case we miss it.
That's my family.
Oh, fantastic. Three married boys? Two married boys?
Two married boys. I need one more.
One more. Okay, and your wonderful husband.
Walt.
And this CD is full of Christmas carols, but 3 of the 12 you have written.
I wrote.
And you're about to do one of your own compositions. Tell us what it is.
I believe it is Who Would Have Thought. And who would have thought, I was reading Luke 2, and I put my Bible down thinking, who would have thought that the angelic host would sing this birth announcement to lowly shepherds who were the lowest of the low in society? You couldn't trust them, nobody cared about them, but to me, it represented that no one is out of the gaze of our Father.